on to NBA Sunday Showcase on ABC, presented by Verizon Go 90, all part of the United States Marine Corps playoff push. From the Alamo City in the AT&T Center, home of the five-time NBA champs, the San Antonio Spurs, a familiar scenes, brilliant skies, and the Spurs poised and ready to make a run in June. The San Antonio Spurs making some changes in their starting lineups, resting a couple of guys, Danny Green. Meanwhile, it's Dante Exum running the point for the Utah Jazz. The former Spur, Boris Diaw, he likes this.
To 91 points. They love to slow the game down, and they're an excellent half-court defensive team.
Nice feed inside, coached by Kyle Anderson. Diaw down low, working against Bertans. And Boris Diaw.
Yeah, we know that, but right here in Utah, when you're talking about the fact that they're fourth in the league.
And back comes Kyle Anderson.
What they need today is good guard play.
And they get a good assist.
Only 2 games on the loss side ahead of the Clippers. This is a big game for Utah.
Exum for 3. Leonard. Bertans from downtown. Got it.
Now, see, that's his strong.
For the Utah Jazz.
Well, see, they only average 100 points a game. So they're not a fast-breaking team. So that offense and get high percentage shots.
Yeah, they're last in the league in pace. Parker with the drive and one. This year in New Orleans. Spent a lot of time working on his game in the offseason. Parker back quickly and gets at the ball.
Once he gets into the paint.
Back inside for Gobert, never made it. Got there the second time, Dedmon. Big second half in that game as well. Here's Hood. Hayward with a nice ball fake.
Nice.
And Gobert finishing off today with Diaw, Gobert, and Parker.
Well, all 3 guys, mainstays on the French national team. Joe Johnson, and then George Hill and Boris Diaw, outstanding. But then a guy, pretty pass by Joe. But there's no time here in the 9-man rotation that San Antonio uses.
Joe Johnson with another great dime.
George Hill this year out of Indiana. He's their second leading scorer at 17 points a game.
Bryn Forbes from downtown. Comes off the screen, Gobert. Over to Johnson, a 38% three-point shooter. Here's the aforementioned Leonard. Over to Gasol. Boy, he continues to sizzle.
I said you were young then. You were supposed to learn the game below the foul line.
Approaching 1 minute to go. Ingles, who leads the NBA. Gasol battling Whitty. Bertans from downtown. And his second 3-ball.
From now until the end of the season. They had 10 assists and 13 field goals.
Boy, great burst of speed. Actually got a great endorsement from his teammate Danny Green a couple of days ago. And he said, hey, Tony's a pro. As Simmons knocks down the 3.
Where everyone was healthy. Then when they played in Utah, San Antonio won, but they only scored 100.
Boy, Jonathan Simmons.
It in. But that's what we're getting here today. Right now, I don't know how we're going to break them out of this. Now, we know that
Utah 47 and 29 coming into the game. Gobert set a great screen. Joe Johnson knocks down the 3.
Great basketball, not just at the offensive end, which a lot of people want to look at, but when you look at 5 or 6 defensive.
The guy's got his arms around.
Well, look, I think he's giving away a little size there, by the way.
Boris Diaw knocks down the 3.
Okay, but look at what he did here at San Antonio. He was outstanding in their run for the championship.
Rodney Hood in San Antonio. The Jazz will be shooting on the next one. Dante Exum with a strong move.
Oh, boy.
And the punch. In Russia, Messina, current Spurs assistant.
Right, two excellent coaches. Messina's one of the best coaches in the history of FIBA. Jazz want to get into the paint off the dribble from the middle of the floor. Not only do they get in, they finish for a layup.
Gobert with a block on Leonard. Ball comes back out to Bryn Forbes now. And he gives the Spurs.
Gasol never jumps. He just stands there and raises his arms. Okay, so he didn't go for the fake.
And here's Gasol at the other end with a soft touch.
Fender. And can put the ball on the floor.
Here's Kawhi Leonard facing up and goes quickly and really just averaging a career high almost 26 a game. Hayward, nice look inside and a great extra pass. A budding general manager in the NBA. That's what he wants to do. Here's Diaw. Gets all the way into the paint, and Diaw finishes.
Dribble the basketball. I can tell you he came into the league as a point guard.
He has 11 points in the game. Leonard from deep.
The last 2 months he's been shooting the three at 29%. Before that at 43. So you like to see him get back.
Boy, what a play by Gordon Hayward off the slick feed. And Utah still within 5. Hands of the Spurs organization. See the mechanics of how it all works. Diaw inside, working well. San Antonio up by 7. Kawhi with the stare down three. Kawhi not.
Because you didn't let him get that extra bounce that he likes to do the reverse spin.
Diaw with a slick move in the paint
And down in the last 6 minutes of the game.
Off the turnover, Hayward to the cup. And Diaw with the finish. There on the lob, and Dedmon kind of rode him out of there a little bit. No foul called. Simmons back to Dedmon at the other end.
Year in a year. Favors and Hill are two starters, point guard and power forward, who are big scorers.
Moving forward. Leonard on the drive and kick. Bryn Forbes from deep.
He can fade that far out. Now that was about an 18-foot shot. But in the paint, that's where he kills you, even if you're on top of him. What do we say? He has to get going. He only had 6 at the red. Well, this is exactly what he did Friday night in Oklahoma City.
Gasol setting a screen for Leonard. Leonard with the floater came up short. Got the second one to fall.
Played a lot of guys. I think they've all done that pretty well.
Thanks, Pop. Guys?
Joe Johnson with the miss, and Withy with a nice tip underneath for the Jazz.
Off the bench, Ginobili and Lee are not playing. So he is pleased with the pace, but also he's pleased the fact that
made it Forbes back to Simmons. Simmons has had a nice afternoon here for the San Antonio Spurs, and Gasol with the drive and bucket.
He got fouled, but that's Gasol. Goes foul when he gets down in there. His shot is so soft and just sits there.
Another point of discussion, they run the old elevator play for Gordon Hayward. He's been quiet. Gobert not so quiet on that lob.
Ingles with the second group. The rest of these guys have got to regroup here now.
Simmons with the step back. Boy, he's in a nice offensive rhythm today against Utah. Parker looks quick this afternoon. Man, he was a blur.
Mark, you're right on it. He just blew by you.
Hayward with just 8 points in the game, make it 10 now, but he put Exum on his heels. Couldn't close the sailboat. Diaw with a lot of contact, didn't bother Gasol at all.
A terrific battle here right now. They with the Clippers and then also Memphis on their heels. They have a chance to move up. And then also Hood, who's a double-figure scorer for you, 2 for 9. So give San Antonio credit there.
Boy, Parker really getting to the basket. The lead is up to 14. Hayward from downtown got it. Johnson guarded by Bertans. Johnson, a master of those ball fakes. Hayward takes his time. Had a great look. Gobert with a wonderful tip. Now they load up on Johnson. Sometimes it doesn't matter.
Or in the history of this league.
It's a 4-point game. Simmons off the lob.
We're here right now, but the key thing is whatever you do not foul.
And a foul against Matt.
Pass the ball. You always try to tell players, pass the ball. Do not allow them to foul you.
So Quinn Snyder and Popovich, former colleagues on the same staff, embrace as San Antonio earns victory number 59 on the season against just 17 losses. Former French teammates Gobert and Parker embracing as the Utah Jazz and Gobert fall to 47 and 30 as we go.